just at the junction at the bottom of the road, aptly named Water Lane. The culvert underneath here can't take the water fast enough, so if you look, the water level here is about a foot higher than the other side of the culvert, causing it to back up. It's backing up that much that it's flooding through the hedge and across the road over there. We had about an inch of rain overnight, so that's what's causing the problem. We've got ducks already. It's flowing across the road here into that field there that the girl has horses on. This tyre was fly tipped. It was the other side of the road last night. It's washed to this side. If you go further down, there's a trail of them. Then in one of our gateways, there's a pile of them. So someone's obviously come along and been throwing them out of the van. Maybe got disturbed or something, I don't know, because they're not all in the same place. There's a couple of tyres there, camera focuses, and they're all the way along here. And one of them's even rolled into the field or been thrown into the field. So I'll lift that back out. And this is the main collection of tyres. And like I said, they're dotted all the way down the road. Not them two. I fill them in concrete to stop people fly tipping in the gateway. But they've tipped in front of it. Just in the cherry picker in the shed when we fumigated yesterday, and there's like a little puddle on the floor there. So I come up thinking, what's wrong with the roof? There's something cracked. And there's actually a hole there next to that nail. So when they've obviously put the roof on, they've missed and then re-drilled, because you can see where it struck the purlin with the screw. So they've pulled it out and started again. But for some reason, it's only just started leaking now, and this shed's been up for 13 years now. 2008 we put it up. So whether it's been slightly blocked with silicone and it's or something and it's washed off, but either way, it's filled that purlin now with water. That's water in here. So we need to block that up. So really the best thing to do is put another screw through from the top, or the roof will be too slippy. So I think we'll just have to squirt silicone in from underneath. I've put a bit of expanding foam in it now, and then I've also got some of this stuff we fixed the workshop roof with, so I'm going to paint that on as well, because you can paint that on and it wet. See if that works. Get a big chunk of it on. Hopefully. That should seal it, because the expanding foam's also in the gap as well. This shed's all cleaned out, ready for putting stuff in today, and the roller shutter saw has decided to break. So I've just got the lid off now. I'm going to ring technical up and find out what's wrong with it. Base plates are on. On a few. Top plates for the rail. They're finished. Andrew's just on the loading shovel screening a bit of stone because it's a bit wet and mucky. So he's got the screener going over there now. Made a ramp so we can load it with that because it's quite high. And it's just tip it in the hopper. We've got the medium size coming out over there, the big size coming out from the far end. And then we should have the little bits and bobs coming out of that belt there. Just like mud really. So it should make the stone a bit drier anyway. Yeah, the roller shutter door was broken and needed a new circuit board, which is that bit in the middle. So we ordered it and it was very expensive, it was like 300 quid. But it turns out it comes as a whole unit, so that's why it's expensive. So I've just got to unwire that one and then wire that one back in, and I have no idea how to do it, but I'll just have to take loads of pictures of what everything's going to what and just see what happens. Got the new box mounted on now. Just taking the wires out of that one. They're all a bit different. That's on different plugs, so I'll have to strip the wires back and wire them up to the code, but they've written the numbers on hopefully, so it shouldn't be too bad. And then we've got to program the top height of the door and the bottom height of the door, so it knows when you press the button, it knows how high to go up and it knows how far to go down. So we'll swap the wires around now and we'll try it. These are the new lights we put in yesterday in the wheat store. Look at that. Now that works as well. new roller shutter door control. Yeah, so we got all these shed pillars now pretty much made. The trusses are made. Got to order all the timber now, sort all that out, order the roof, and then we might get it put up in the next sort of week probably, depends what the weather is. Last night, because it rained, one of the holes sunk. So we've the concrete in the hole, so they put 2 plates on this one so that it packers it up so it's not technical out. Yeah, this was yesterday's quiz question. Someone got it right. It is actually a fire extinguishing ball. So you got little frames in the bottom and you put them in the wood chipper engine bay or the combine and things like that. And if they get really hot, they explode and give off a dry powder which puts fires out. Or you can throw them at fires to put them out. So we have a few spares in the workshop and then most of them are mounted on the wood chipper. So I'll go and get something to show you for today's quiz question. Lads have put this up today. This pipe here, it basically converts our water fittings to the fire brigade's water fittings, and we keep it now by the water tank, so if there's ever an emergency, the fire brigade can draw our water, because there's not like our industry farm standards, a 2-inch cam coupler or 3-inch, whereas the fire brigade uses what they call instantaneous coupling, so that adapts it. Because I remember when we had a fire the other year on that shed, I'll put a picture on actually of it, and we had 10,000 litres of water there and the fire brigade couldn't access it, so that's why we've got one of them things made up. So I'll put a picture on it when the boiler burnt down. Does anyone know what this is for? It's got loads of little springs on it and a screw fitting on one end. If you do, have a guess in the comments box or click like if you're certain, and keep the flag comments coming in. I've ordered a Caterpillar one, hopefully trying to get hold of a JCB and a Valtra one as well from the dealerships. I've trying to sort of Class one out as well, so if Morris Caulfields are watching, or Class, send me one, because I can't find them online either. Yeah, the plan was supposed to be filling this shed today with wheat meal, but there's been a problem with the boat coming in, so I think it's going to be Monday now. So we got it all ready, big push all week, and then suddenly we don't need it. So a few people have been asking for me to do like a tour of the machinery. Sorry, there's like really bad shadow. Some people have been asking me to do a tour of the machinery and the farm. Well, you can have a virtual tour of the farm. I'll try and put the link in the comments box today, because we did one last year for the NFU, so you can click and you can walk around the yard, go in all the buildings and look at all the machinery. So a lot of it is already done. I mean, I still will. What I'll probably do is, going forwards, I might sort of profile a bit of different bit of machinery each day so people can have a look at it. So again, if you want to leave a comment of what you think I should do each day or tomorrow or whatever, do that, and then it gives me something to think about really, and a theme for the day maybe. And also, I like getting comments because then I feel like I'm not just talking to a phone screen. I'm back here again with my chalk because I've upset a load of anti-dredgers. I don't know why, but they think dredging damages wildlife, but flooding damages it even more. All your water voles, everything like that, they all get drowned when we get a flood. So I called them flat earthers this morning on Twitter, and they've got all a bit upset. But basically, you've got hills and you've got the sea. You've got water that falls all over the place, and all it wants to do is, with gravity, is get to the lowest point, which is basically sea level in the UK, or even below if you've got a hollow, like in Holland where they drain it. So if the ground's a big sponge, they're saying no, you don't want to dredge, because all that does is accelerates the water going downstream. Well, it doesn't matter if you start downstream if it's going fast, because it's got somewhere to go to. It's got to go to the sea. But they're saying no, slow it down on the hills and stop it getting down there. So by doing that, it means blocking drains and planting trees and stuff like that. Well, that's fine for the first 6 months. But in the UK, even here, we get like that much rainfall every year, 5 or 6 foot. Well, eventually the soil, which is yellow in this drawing, is a sponge. It fills up with water, and it only evaporates a tiny bit, and it doesn't sink any further down because then it hits clay, and so it's still got to get to the sea. So eventually the ground fills up, so when it rains it's full, so all it can do is spill over the top, So they're saying, yeah, but dredging, you don't need to dredge if you keep the soil out the ditches by farming differently. Well, we already zero till. We already don't disturb the soil. We already grow cover crops. Not everyone does, admittedly, but it still doesn't solve the problem of the fact. Sorry, there's a really bad shadow in there because I've had to turn the lights on. It still doesn't solve the fact that every year we get lots of vegetation dying and falling in the streams. So if you've got a stream, let me get my green crayon. If you've got a stream or a ditch, and you've got banks like that, all year you've got all vegetation growing on these banks, whether it be trees overhanging, Himalayan balsam, that's your stream there. Well, all that green matter falls in, and what's it do? It rots and turns to a sludge, which is a silt, and then it builds up and blocks the channel. And once the channel's blocked, the water can't drain out. It rises the water table. Or when it rains, half the channel's blocked, so it's only got half the flow. It's dead simple, but for some reason people just think that dredging's the devil, and they just don't get it. And I don't understand why. I think it's because they think they're going to like damage the water voles and the habitats and all this. Well, guess what? When you've got acres and acres and acres flooded, a water vole can't outrun the water. You know, the little ground nesting birds, they just drown. Just get your head around the fact that man has built waterways, managed waterways and maintained waterways forever, and people and animals and different kinds of creatures have lived along them. That's about it for me ranting today. I am trying to explain this to people. It's like banging your head against a brick wall. Spent a bit of the morning this morning on an NFU meeting, and then a bit this afternoon on a red tractor meeting. Everyone's saying, why don't you sort red tractor out? You know, it's not fit for purpose, blah, blah, blah. It isn't my fault. I'm on one of the boards. I tell them how it is. And unfortunately, there's just not enough farmers on the red tractor board. And that's why they start bringing things in that we don't agree with, that cost us money and don't give us any return for it. I've had a roll of shutter door break on a day when we needed the door working. So I've been messing around with that. I've sorted that out. And then also the accountants finally finalised their accounts for 1920, like 2019-2020. There's a small profit, which is a bit strange considering it was actually wasn't that too bad a harvest the year before, but there's a small profit. But she found a mistake a few weeks ago, which meant that I was getting some money back on a tractor we traded in, but she's also found a mistake in a VAT, which pretty much nearly wipes it out. So that's a bit crap really, because for the last 10 days I've been thinking that I've had this bonus of extra capital injected in after a bad harvest of 2020. Well, it turns out that most of it's now going to go back to the taxman, so that's a bit of a pain. So hopefully normal business will be resumed tomorrow. I won't be stuck inside on a computer. We hopefully won't have had 24 mil of rain overnight, which we've basically had last night, and that's why everywhere's flooded again, and we can get some stuff done. So see you all tomorrow. Bit of good news today though, the Amazon man's been, so we just need the combine now. So get them plates on it, and if anyone has got a Lexus coming in March and want to buy the plate off me for more money than I've paid for it, get in touch.